Hello and welcome to Infosys Finacle Innovation Talk Series. I am Puneet and today I'm delighted to have with us Mr. Balaji, Head of Business Technology Group at ICICI Bank. Welcome Mr. Balaji.
Hi, thanks Puneet. Thanks Infi team for calling me for this chat.
Thank you Mr. Balaji for joining us. It's our pleasure and privilege to have you with us today. And first of all, on behalf of entire Infosys and Finacle team, I would like to congratulate you and your team on winning multiple awards at Infosys Finacle Innovation Awards program. It's indeed a testimony to the innovative work and the impactful work you and your team has been doing throughout the last year, which was again a very challenging year for all of us. In fact, to my mind, ICICI Bank has been the most innovative and admired institution, not only in India, but also across the globe for the innovative work it does on year after year. So I'm super excited that we have this opportunity to have this discussion with you and really learn many things from your reflections and insights.
Thanks, Puneet. In fact, you have been very kind with your words. We have been doing lots of work with the partners like you. I think have helped us grow whatever we have done. So once again, thanks Puneet for calling us and getting to hear from us what we are doing.
So kind of you to say that. So let's just jump into it. To begin, Mr. Balaji, considering we have a audience which is really global, may I request you to give our audience a brief introduction about ICICI Bank and your role?
ICICI Bank is one of the largest private sector banks in the country in India. We have operations spread out of India and another 12 other countries. Though predominantly our operations are based out of India, we have a very large branch network. We work with around 5,500 branches, around 15,000 ATMs we run in the country, and we are one of the first few private banks who started in the country. And I head the business technology. I head the technology function for the bank, where the entire technology structure of the bank reports into me, and we work together with various partners like you guys. That's our most of the job. Most of the time we deal with partners like you and start giving technology solutions to the bank.
Thank you so much. And ICICI Bank has had an incredible journey since its founding in the late 90s, and since then it has been a technology-led pioneer, wherein you have been always the first bank to roll out many new innovations in the market. I'm very keen to start this session to know what is your secret sauce.
I will start with Kung Fu Panda movie, first one. Post dialogue to his father, Ping. This one, father's dialogue. There's no secret sauce. So I will. This is about one, customer focus. If at all you want to know what we are doing, we have always been customer focused. We have been pioneers in many areas where technology need to be put in place. We have been doing that. The only reason is that's what our customers are demanding customers, and we keep doing that. Another small reason I would say is, one is the focus of the customers, and another small reason I would say could be the success factor could be that we are still not satisfied. If you come and ask within the bank, we generally don't get satisfied with small things. So it's about wanting to do more with the customers and wanting to do more with everybody. That is a desire which is pushing us. And always I should talk about some of our competition also. They are keeping us on high alert. So a combination of all these factors, I can say, is secret sauce, if at all, if there is one.
Thank you, Mr. Balaji. You've been very modest, but I love the way you articulated the three factors. Of course, the customer focus, that's the why any organization succeeds, and the fact that you're always hungry, desire to do more, and the competition, which is obviously getting more and more intense. So, love the simplicity with which you shared your not so secret sauce. uh, so, when one thinks of digital transformation, one typically talks about digital journeys. In fact, one of our customers shared with me that digital transformation is nothing but a sum total of all the redesigned customer journeys. And one of the ICICI initiatives which was recognized in this year award was around the work you have done in redesigning customer journeys for digital age. May I request you to share more about the initiative and the impact it is creating?
The again you got that right in your question itself. This is about customer's journey. It's not our journey. This is the journey which customer want to see, not what we want to give. So that way most of this journey is again see, for customer, when they deal with the banks, they are not talking only about banks. They are talking about their overall ecosystem. When they order a pizza in a Swiggy or they buy things in Amazon or Flipkart or any of these online channels, or doing any other work, they use technology and they use digital, and they are used to a particular kind of journey. Customers expect all even the banking as one of that as easy service, as easy journey as possible. They want everything in life to be pretty simple and straightforward, like they do many other things. So this is one another area where I would say this is a permanent work in progress. In fact, we would be redoing our customer journey today, tomorrow, day after, whatever be the time. This one we will be keep reworking as the preferences of customers, as preferences of what they are getting services from keep changing. This will keep changing. This is about how the customer feels the journey is, which means it has to be simple, straightforward. We cannot give a long tutorial to the customer to do the banking transactions. He has to do it as seamlessly as possible and as simple as possible. So that is a broad mantra around customer service. But as you rightly said, it is determined by the customer, not by us per se. So that way, this is a permanent work in progress as far as we are concerned.
Thank you, Mr. Balaji. Indeed, as you rightly said, it is about keeping pace with the changing customers' expectations and the way they would like to consume the product and services. And I like the way you also talked about integrating banking into their primary journeys, whether it is on e-commerce, whether it is on digital food buying or other things. And that brings me to my second topic where you got recognized in the awards program. It is about the work you have done in curating the API-based engagement ecosystem, whether it is a engagement with corporate customers, fintech partners, or digital giants such as Amazon and Walmart on Flipkart you talked about. Tell us about your approach when it comes to API-based banking and the vision ahead.
I'll come to that a bit later, but the point which I was trying to say is the customers' way of looking at digital is not a competition of one bank with the other bank, but it's competition with the overall ecosystem. In fact, so that way, all the banks have been working on how do we merge ourselves with the ecosystem. That is where the API banking comes into picture. That is where API bank comes into picture. This is not about bank's journey per se. It is about how we are inserting bank into the journey of the customer. Customer may be doing so many other things. How our journey can be inserted in the customers. This one, whether banking seamlessly, I would say embedded banking. I will call it a little bit. I was thinking of invisible banking, but there is nothing called invisible. So that way, it is embedded banking, where how do we embed the bank in the day-to-day lives of the customer, which will require API is one another way of connecting that particular thing. Here, I would say the Indian banks. I'm not just talking about ICICI Bank per se, but Indian banks definitely have taken quite a leap in the last year or two. We as ICICI Bank, we have taken quite a bit of work. We have around 650 APIs in the marketplace with various parts of the bank. And this journey we have been doing for the last 2.5 years, 3 years. But what actually was the satisfaction was when the pandemic struck, and when the entire banking became physical banking became very, very difficult one in the last 2 years. The API banking came into picture quite handy. It helped us deliver things digitally to the customers. It helped us, though we have so many other digital channels and digital work, embedding ourselves into the ecosystem actually helped us to swim the pandemic much cleaner and simpler.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for emphasizing on that point, Balaji. And I totally agree with you. I think the future of banking is in embedded finance, and more products, more and more services will continue to get embedded in the primary customer journeys. And the work which you have done in laying the strong foundation with your API marketplace and the 650 APIs which you have put in place is incredible. In fact, I want to build a little bit further on this and talk about one of the important use cases of embedded finance. The entire buy now, pay later. Industry has got a lot of fascination for buy now, pay later in the last couple of years. And ICICI Bank again was the first bank to come out with the ICICI pay later product. Could you share experience of how the pay later product has done in the market?
We have done quite a bit of work. I mean, it's one of the important offering as far as we are concerned. See, as a bank, we want to be 360 banking. Any customer journey, we should be present. We should be present. Our customers should not feel that certain aspects we are there, we are not there types of this one. I mean, if they are dealing with the bank, they should deal 360 degree of their relationship with the bank in a complete seamless manner. So the product was born. That was more than 3 years back. We came with this pay later product. Very, very happy to share that the results are pretty good. I can't share the numbers, but otherwise we have done pretty well. That much I should say.
Thank you, Mr. Balaji. Indeed, I think like many of those pioneering initiatives, the fact that you have the first mover advantage is quite visible from a consumer perspective, at least because I was one of the first person to really experiment and play with those the buy now pay later product. Moving on to the next part of the award segment, wherein we talked about the work you're doing in digitizing the entire business and corporate banking journeys. In particular, ICICI introduced the e-discounting system, and the idea there was to disrupt the inland bill discounting transactions by bringing the nuances of trade, government initiatives, and really the power of blockchain together. Could you tell us more about this inland bill discounting initiative which you have taken?
Yeah, this is another area where we have done pretty well in the last few years. In the inland bill discounting, what generally is lost for the entire chain is the trade chain, is the delay in some of the banking products. With the inland trade chain, what we internally call it the trade chain product. What we have done is we have done through, of course, with your help in getting blockchain solution for this particular aspect, so that the transaction between large customers is generally done for large customers, the large customers and the bank. We have done it through a secure and safe blockchain platform, so that the trade products can be delivered instantly. Let it be bank guarantee or LC, it can be done pretty instantly. There's no loss of time for them in the business. Otherwise, physically people exchange physical documents, or documents through online and all those things take pretty long time. But when we are going through a blockchain and these many of these turnaround time is cut to a matter of few hours. So I would even say minutes. Certain transactions can be done in few minutes with secure platform through blockchain. So I would say this has helped us a lot in talking to lots of corporate customers, and the product has been pretty successful. Of course, though this is not a mass product. You require a company of a big size to be on the other side. It's not for SME customers. It's for very large corporates, because they need a setup, equivalent setup the other side for them to use this benefit. So for those customers, this is a huge advantage both for the customer as well as the bank. And since this is the first of the thing in the market, we are getting that first mover advantage there.
So nice to hear that, Balaji, and I'm glad that
Infi is one of our partners in this. So that much I should say.
Thank you so much for acknowledging our contributions as well. And like always, you have been very gracious. And I'm really glad that the solution is helping you automate the processes and even automate inter-organization process with the corporate customers and give the advantage of time as well as efficiency in the system. We're glad that you could join us today and share these reflections and experiences. Thank you so much. And we really take this privilege with great pride that we have an opportunity to work with your team and help and contribute in some of the innovations which you're bringing to market. And I want to thank on behalf of our team for joining us today.
Thanks to you, and thanks to Infi for this opportunity.
And I would also like to thank our viewers who have joined us. I hope you found this discussion insightful, and hopefully you can take some of the initiatives as Mr. Balaji talked about into your organization, and you can stay tuned to our social channels for many more such insightful discussions which we are having with global banking leaders. Thank you again for joining us.